Hey, listeners, what's going on? Happy Monday, March 2nd, 2026, which is the start of Women's History Month. Let's put a congratulations, a clap of a hand, or something down in that chat right now. If I got any beautiful women in the chat, a hooray or something, put a thumbs up, put something, a clap of hands for all of the month of March, where we will be celebrating Women's History Month. Hopefully we can focus on some of the things. Hold on one second, guys. I forgot to do not disturb. Hopefully we can focus on some of the things that the women contribution that have been made to this incredible country that we are living in right now. So once again, jump down in the chat. Let's give some round of applause, some claps, some thumbs up, or something for this month, Women's History Month. All right, everybody. Today's episode is titled Infected Lips, International Sentences, Tesla Targets, and No Death Penalty. Yes, you heard me correctly. Please don't forget that we have a new show day, which is Mondays and Thursdays now instead of Tuesdays and Thursdays. That will be Mondays and Thursdays, still at the same time, though, at 9:30. Also, don't forget, we threw the algoriters out the door. You're no longer algoriters. You are now A-listers. All right, A-listers, jump in here, because tonight we're coming in hot. Tonight on Celebrity Court of Public Opinion, we're putting the internet on the stand, because y'all will take a joke and turn it into a felony. You'll take a rumor and turn it into a verdict, and you'll take a headline and turn it into a whole personality. And that's exactly what our stories will be doing tonight. First up, Deshae Frost goes viral after joking his lips were infected after kissing that chick, Celina Powell, on stream. It was cute for the clip, dangerous for the law, though, if people interpret as factual his STD claim. Second up, what a sad story. Wiz Khalifa just had a Romanian appeals court uphold a 9-month jail sentence. Oh, no! Does that mean that Khalifa has got to go to jail in another country? Well, we don't know. We'll find out from our legal beagles. It's tied to a cannabis case from a 2024 festival. Meaning this isn't just tour drama. This has now become an international legal reality. Also, we have the singer David, the one who's been in celebrity court here with us a couple of times. He's officially described in court filings as a target in a Los Angeles grand jury murder probe after a teen's remains were found in a Tesla that was registered to his name. Now listen, no charges are announced, but target is a prosecutor language with teeth. And I can't wait to understand from the legal beagles exactly what does that mean to be a target. I know it doesn't sound good, doesn't look good either, but if it doesn't come with any charges, what exactly does that mean? And last but not least, Luigi Mangione. We've been talking about him for months now. Guess what, everybody? He won't face the federal death penalty after prosecutors said they won't appeal a judge ruling that knocked it off the table, because capital eligibility is technical, not emotional. So I really want to know, I want the lawyers to break down what capital eligibility is. Now, remember, this is not a criminal court. This is the court of public opinion, celebrity court of public opinion. And here, I bring the facts, my attorneys bring you the law, and you, the viewers, are the jury, meaning you decide who's guilty or not guilty in the court of public opinion. Court is officially in session. Joining me tonight, I have my legal beagles, Sean Carter, Shatan Turner, and Jason White. Counselors, welcome back to Celebrity Court.
Hey,
Your Honor.
All right, that's how I like to see it. All right, everybody, let's see who's joined us tonight. Linnell Seiler. What's up, Linnell? What's up, Linnell? Sandra McGee, come on in here. Happy Women's Month, ladies. Caramel 1977, happy Monday, A-listers. Everybody be sure to like and share, and don't hesitate to send those super chats. It's the top of the month. Don't act like you ain't got it. Exactly. We all got paid yesterday. Come on, am I ready for tomorrow? Tanya McGill, get on in here. It's so good to see your name back here. Caramel 1977 says, at Sandra McGee. Yes, Sandra McGee, at Caramel, love, we run the world. JP Mills says, hey, everybody. JP Mills also says, happy Monday. Lethea Robinson Smith says, hello, everyone. Colette, our real estate broker, says, good evening, everyone. Brenda K, always good to see that name. All right, we got a super chat already, and I didn't have to take off no clothes. All right, 1977, I'll take it. Nisha Phillips, always good to see you, SL Warrior. Come on in here. Come on in here. Brian Simone, where have you been? You changed your name. Okay, but I like it. I like it. It's still great. We're looking back at another great show. Essie Stone, great to see you. New York Marie, hey, 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 hey. Glad you made it. Donna, welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Leandria, welcome back. Grandma Mims, come on in here, Grandma. I think you may be a new person, but we'll take you. Pisces Unicorn, come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Everybody, come. There go Dominic Star. I was looking for those emojis. I thought you forgot about us, but you did not. I love it. At My Star Love, come on in, come on in. Everybody, come on. Tina T. Wine, come on in here. Let's see. Did I miss anybody? There was so many. Johnny Solo, I don't know. That's a new name for me. Welcome back. If you have, welcome if that's your first time joining us. My Star Love, Tracy Odom, all of you guys come on in. All right. Whew. Now that we got that out of the way. All right. Listen to me. There's a new rule. I'm going to say what the chat is thinking. Then the lawyers are going to tell you what the law actually allows, because messy without legal literacy is just noise, right? Okay, so first case, this is how the internet ruins people for sport, and this is serious. Deshae Frost went viral after a stream moment with Celina Powell, where he joked his lips were infected or irritated after a kiss. Now, the clip has been reposted by gossip pages and outlets and is traveling faster than truth. Now, maybe it's a bit over the top, maybe it's comedy, but the legal problem here is simple. When a joke implies a real infection came from a real person, you're flirting with defamation, possibly in 4K. All right, so we're talking about defamation. We're talking about a joke that has turned very serious for whoever he's joking on, who now she's taking legal action or some form of illegal action, right? She sent a cease and desist. So before we get into this and throw to the lawyers, Bailiff, take it away for the video.
It's not that bad, right? It's not that bad,
right? All right, so we're going to throw to you first, Sean Carter. All right, Sean Carter, tell me exactly what's going on here. And when did we cross over where a lawyer would even take on a joke like this and send out a cease and desist? Tell me what happened in this case, please.
All right. So as you know, they had the kiss online and the streaming platform. He comes out with this horrible looking face. And by the way, it's all prosthetics. All right. He's fine. And the lawyer says, hey, this is a problem. She says it's a problem because guess what? When you see that, what do you think about her? She got cooties, right? And more than cooties. And that is defamation, as we say on this show, per se or per se. There are 4 classes of defamation. We're not going to go through all of them, but one of them says if you say someone has the cooties or the clap or whatever kind of loathsome disease, then even if they don't have any income, even if there's no way to prove damages, you have hurt them. And certainly he's hurt her. And by the way, let's be clear. Look at that woman. All right. Whatever she got, she can give me. All right. I don't care what she got. You that fine. You go ahead. She can get all cooties she wants.
Attorney Turner, I want to know, when does comedy cross into a defamatory statement? Like, come on now. Like, we're getting to the point now where people are just suing for everything. And especially if they know that the person possibly has money. Is it the words, or is it how the audience receives them? Is it the response? Is it her feelings? I mean, come on. We all know he's joking. We all know that if you got a blister on your mouth like that, you were doing more than kissing. So what exactly, how does this turn into defamation?
So first of all, comedy is in the ear or the eye of the beholder, and I don't find anything about what he did funny. So I'm not sure who he hangs with and who he thought would think it was funny to pretend as if somebody gave him an STD. She wasn't in on the joke, right? And so, as Attorney Carter indicated, Defamation entered the building the moment he decided to put it on the internet because he publicized it and he initially indicates that it's true. So there's the picture of the kissing side by side of the picture with him looking a hot mess, like he's got a flesh-eating bacteria, and he ties it to her. So I don't know where they do that, and they think it's funny, but she doesn't think it's funny, and I would have socked him with a cease and desist too. It's wrong.
All right, so I think you don't know who she is. You're not familiar with her, are you? And I want to throw this to you, Jason, because doesn't context have something to do with this? Bailiff, let's go through what I mean by context. We have a picture of all the men that she had played with on the internet, that she had filmed herself in bed with in compromising positions, right? This is how she became famous, by sleeping with a lot of famous men, kissing them while she's in the bed while they're asleep. And I think what he was doing was he was making fun of what her brand is, which is being, this kind of freaky, nasty, dirty individual. And this is something that she's built her brand off. Jason, does that mean anything? Would that context have anything? Can they build a defense around that or no?
Oh, definitely. And first of all, I got to admit, I thought it was hilarious, but I have the maturity of a 12 or a 13-year-old. So I think it was hilarious. I think it was great. And I think in the context, it was even better. Look, that is definitely something that they can bring up as a defense, but I do think that might hurt, because if you think about what she does for a living, right, if now all of a sudden she cannot kiss other people because she's got this flesh-eating disease that she passes on, that shoots down her whole image. So I understand her image is not pristine, and it's not like, she's a good, wholesome girl, but at the same time, it does not help her and will hurt her. And I don't think they're going to use that as a defense. I think what they're going to say is, she knew we were doing this. She knew we were pranking. That's all we wanted to do. We were having some good old-fashioned fun. And you want it down? Fine. We'll take it down, no problem. And he'll probably even come out and air something like, look, right, my joke went too far. I admit it. Like Attorney Weiss, my humor is like a 13-year-old, and I crossed the line, and I apologize, mea culpa.
Right. Okay, so I want to go back to you really quickly, Sean, and then I'll come to you, Shaitan. So this is my question, right? Because she has done those guys never consented. Most of the guys that she catch in bed, they don't consent to being filmed by her, and she posted for popularity. So it just feels to me that someone's joking on her the way she has joked on many men, and now she wants to yell foul. What, am I interpreting this wrong?
Yeah, well, there's two differences. One difference is that she was actually in the bed with them, lucky asses. All right. She's saying, hey, I don't have a flesh-eating bacteria. All right, your face won't get like that. And the second thing is, he did apologize. He said, hey, I was kidding. I'm just kidding. The problem is, unfortunately for him, is as Attorney Turner said, he put it on the internet, because I didn't know who he was. All right. I saw it somewhere else. And so the disclaimer, when he says, I'm just kidding and all that stuff, doesn't go as far as the original she got cooties. And remember, she still got to make a living. She got to find some rapper or entertainer to get in bed with tomorrow. All right. So she needs to be looking like a clean,
a clean, dirty one.
A clean, dirty one.
A clean, dirty one. All right, Shaitan, really quickly, let's wrap this up. What do you got? What are your thoughts on this?
This feels like slut shaming to me. You can have a high body count and not have an STD or an STI, as they like to call it now. And I think the fact that she does have this high body count actually strengthens her claim, because it makes it more likely that she could have caught something. So what he did was capitalize on the reality and then try to make everybody think it was true.
Oh no, I can't take that. I can't take that. You can't sleep around with multiple men all the time, and when someone call you icky, you're gonna be like, oh, don't slut shame me. No, ma'am, I'm sorry, not in this court. Not in this court. No.
Come on, ladies.
If you're going to publicly make it known how many different men you sleep with on a regular that makes you popular, then you got to open yourself up to be called a Jezebel. What?
And
like,
that's not what she's saying.
Call you a Jezebel don't mean I'm slut shaming you. I'm
He
calling
went farther. He went farther. Once he put on his face what appeared to be a flesh-eating bacteria, he could have gone on there.
That's slut shaming her.
You're slut shaming her. He engaged in defamation. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, is that he engaged in defamation and he capitalized on the fact. Like, it's so what? She's a sex worker. Let's just say that. It'd be no different with somebody insulting me for what I do as an attorney. That's what, if I were her lawyer, I would argue that, right? Because it's tied to what she does as a living. As Attorney Carter indicated, she's like capitalizing on her being like this sexy woman who gets a lot of dudes. Her whole clientele may dry up. People might be like, shit, he said it was a joke, but I'm not signing up for that.
I'm gonna bow out on this. All right, really quickly, attorneys, on a scale of 1 to 10, how strong is Celina's case, Attorney Carter?
It's a good 7. And by the way, Celina, you don't dry up. You keep doing what you're doing, girl, because I'm enjoying it. But everybody else, go ahead.
Attorney Turner,
8.75.
Okay, Attorney Weiss,
an 8.
A strong 8. So she has grounds to sue him. She has possible grounds to sue him and win.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, this is bad. All right, let's keep it moving. You heard it from the attorneys right there. Wiz Khalifa. Oh no. Our second case is about one of our favorites, Wiz Khalifa. An appeals court in Romania has upheld a 9-month jail sentence tied to a 2024 incident at a beach festival where authorities said he not only possessed cannabis, but he also consumed some publicly. Now, the appeal was rejected, meaning that the conviction and the sentence stands, at least as reported. And Americans, we keep misunderstanding this when you go to these foreign countries and you're looking for weed or doing weed or cannabis. It's not like a parking ticket. It's actually a criminal sentence in a foreign jurisdiction. All right, so I want to throw to you, Attorney Carter. Can you take us back to that day? What exactly did he get caught doing in Romania? What were the laws? And can they actually force him to go back to serve jail time? How does this work?
All right. So the facts here are that it's last year, 2024. He's at a festival and he got a big joint. He's just enjoying himself doing what Wiz Khalifa do. And at the time, they said, "Hey, this ain't this ain't the States. All right, you need to put that out." And actually, arrested him at the time, brought him in, and kind of said, "Look, you know what, man, that's not cool." They fined him like $5,000 or whatever, which he said you got change for 10,000. He was fine, and they let him go. And then at some point, the prosecutors said, "You know what? This isn't enough. We need to actually appeal because he was smoking in front of the kids. We don't want the kids to see this." Now, the fact that they let them see rap is one thing, but we don't want them to see weed. And so they then, while he was here in the U.S., brought this appeal and said, no, we want a 9-month sentence on it. And the appeal court said, sure, 9 months. Now, here's the thing is, Wiz has got to go back. Well, scratch that. For him to serve, he'd have to willingly go back there. And I don't know how to tell you this, but Wiz ain't going back there. And I don't blame him. And the thing is, and it's not like you can get him to be brought back, right? Normally that's the case, but it has to be something real serious, all right, for the feds to put you on a plane back to Romania because you did something that's legal in 38 states here.
All right. Let me ask you this, though, Shaitan. I thought that if you had a foreign conviction, it's not a conviction yet, that it would affect your visas and
it is a conviction.
Huh?
It is a conviction.
It is a conviction. So why doesn't this affect his why doesn't this affect his visa and entry and transport throughout the other countries if he has a foreign conviction?
It's not necessarily reciprocity with the entire world and all the other countries, but he absolutely can't go to Romania without getting arrested and serving the sentence. if I were Wiz, and I have a special affinity for Wiz because he's from Pittsburgh, went to my brother's high school, and here we bleed black and yellow, right? This is colossally stupid. He never should have done it. The law was clear, and you're right. There are all of these questions about how it could complicate his life. So you're right, or you're not right that it's going to affect his visa wherever he goes in the world. However, it can complicate his ability to travel because now he's going to have this Romanian conviction on there. And so getting in and out of certain countries when they run his name could be harder for him. And I think under these circumstances, Wiz thought he was above the law because he's like a god in Pittsburgh and didn't recognize that didn't translate to Romania. And he wasn't able to, do the concert without smoking a blunt. But he had even more than a blunt on him. He had, I think, 80 ounces or something like that. The other attorneys might be able to correct me on that. So he was there to play, and it was against the law.
Okay, I want to read one of these comments. Rizlan11 said, because it's a Schengen visa, which englobe many European countries, Al, that's how it affects his visa application. Okay, can anybody speak to that? I'm not sure about that.
Yes, there are 29 countries that are part of the Schengen area. It's mostly the European countries, right? France, etc. And what happens is that once you get in trouble in one of them, they got you on the list. So if he flies into Paris, if he flies into Paris, they're gonna be like,
because I've done this before. I'll go to Paris, I'll go to a club, I'll go outside and smoke. I never pretend like I don't do nothing wrong. So I need to be careful because
has never done anything against the law, despite the way it may sound.
You're right. But I'm just saying, teach us for all my A-listers, A-listers. What are there rules? If I get caught, is it really as serious as that I could be?
Yeah. Well, and the problem is once you get convicted in one country, and see, he made a mistake when he got convicted in Romania. If he had done that in Holland, all right, think about it. Netherlands, when you get to the airport, they hand you a joint. I don't think you can get in the country unless you at least prove you smoked half of it, right? But that's not the case everywhere. And he was one of the few strict countries that actually has that. And then they put you on this list. That doesn't mean necessarily they're going to arrest you or throw you out, but it definitely makes it harder to travel. And by the way, it does mean this, though. If Romania says we want him, they can come get him.
They can?
Yeah,
if you're in one of those 29,
but the true chances of that are so slim to none that it's not gonna happen. They're not coming to get him for that. And like you said, Your Honor, if you stepped outside and smoked a cigarette or something else, he got busted because of the fact that he had enough to supply the entire concert hall. They didn't say that it was that he had enough for him to self-enjoy. It was he could have supplied everybody and it wouldn't have been a problem. So that's where the issue really lies here.
Okay, but I like the fact that it's good to know that you do, A-listers, have to pay attention to the laws, like somebody said in the chat. You just have to be aware of what the laws are for that country so that you don't find yourself in deep doo-doo, right? What were you going to say, Sean, really quickly?
I was going to say that the complication factor is what Attorney Carter was referencing. So Wiz has given up the privilege of being able to travel the world without concern. So that's the biggest price that he's paid, because we really can't tell how this could potentially come out. Like, he might piss somebody off in one country and get a misdemeanor, and they decide to
tag on his Romanian.
Right.
Got it. Okay. And that's really not good for an international artist, right? Because they make a lot of money outside of the United States. All right, really quickly, on a scale of 1 to 10, how strong is Romania's case against Wiz Khalifa, Carter?
10. Done.
Turner?
10.
Weiss?
10, but they're not going to enforce. 0.
Got it. All right, now from a conviction to something even more dangerous for a person who hasn't been charged, being called, quote, a target before we get into this case, everyone, do me a quick favor. Be sure to hit that like button. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you're already subscribed, be sure to hit that share button. Invite some friends over and have them enjoy the show. Also, don't forget to turn on your notifications because we're on Mondays and Thursdays now at 9:30 p.m. instead of Tuesdays and Thursdays. And as always, light up this chat like you are lighting it up right now. Daniel Cameron, you're late to class, but I'm glad to see you here. Thank you for coming. All right, let's go into case 3 because I really want to take some time and try to unpack this. Now, the third case is a little bit heavy, and I apologize. Now, the AP News and other reports say that court filings show that singer David, his legal name is David Burke, is described as, quote, a target of a Los Angeles County grand jury investigation connected to the death of a 14-year-old girl whose remains were found inside Tesla vehicle registered to him after the vehicle was towed and impounded. Oh my gosh. Now, this is the interesting part. No charges have been publicly announced in this reporting, but the following describe the investigation as active. And for the viewers at home, target is not a casual word that prosecutor used. It's a warning label, but I'm going to throw this to Attorney Carter to explain to us, how do you get listed as a target but not charged with any wrongdoing?
All right, so basically 3 classifications. All right, there's person of interest, which means, you're pretty interesting, like I find Celina Powell, okay? But it doesn't necessarily mean you did anything. A suspect means you fit the description. So, for instance, you happen to be black, all right? You're a suspect, all right? We know that, okay. All right? But a target means we've already fitted you for the jumpsuit. We got your size, we got the tailor, we know what kind of drawers you like. We're about to come with, we're coming at you. And so when you're a target investigation, you are about to spend some time in court, at the very least, very soon. It's the highest classification. Trial is any day now.
Okay, so can you give us an example of someone else who may have been listed as a target that we would know? So you're basically saying they have the evidence, everything's pointing to him. They just haven't buttoned it up yet.
And what they got to do is they got to indict him. So they're going to try to do a grand jury. They were having some trouble getting the grand jury testimony. Here's the thing is, they think his parents, his father and his brother, know something about this. They want to bring them in for the grand jury. The father and the brother, being good fathers and brothers, said, no, we live in Texas. We're not coming to California for that. All right, we don't even like it out there. All right, it's too much weed. And so they said, we're not coming. And they finally, the prosecutors in LA were able to work it out with the Texas courts so that these people have to come. The brother and the son have to come to LA to be part of the grand jury. At that point, then they'll have to testify under oath. And the prosecution has its ducks in a row. They've got some things in addition to the fact that they found her body in his trunk. They also have equipment, heavy equipment that they think they used to dismember the body. There was a burn cage at one of David's properties. And so this is the last thing they sort of need to tie together. A burn cage. You can't cut up a raw body. You got to kind of cook like barbecue, right? I'm sorry. I apologize. It's a serious thing. You're not supposed to say that. But seriously, barbecue is a lot easier to cut when you cook it, right? So the problem is, They when they found the body, it was in 2 separate bags in the front trunk of the Tesla.
Yep.
They burned her?
Yep. And the only thing I want to add,
they cooked her so they could cut her up.
Yep. You got it.
That's disgusting.
And the other thing that I want to add is there is a 4th category, and Attorney Carter said it, which was witness. Dad and brother are witnesses. That is a 4th category.
They were at the barbecue?
Yeah, well, maybe. I mean, they could have been going up for seconds for all I know.
That's so
but that is a 4th category, and that's the lowest. If you're called in as a witness, you're usually pretty good. The other ones, lawyer up before you go anywhere. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay, so let me ask you 3 something, because this is getting strange to me. It's bad enough that he's on live doing a stream with a 14-year-old girl, right? Already underage, already in some murky waters. What is the benefit of burning her up and chopping her up? Like, what's going through his head? Like, what is going on?
Get rid of the evidence. That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to get rid of the evidence.
They had an affair. That they
killed her. That he killed her.
He wasn't in murky waters. He was on the fast track to a pedophile claim, right?
Mhm.
Let's just be clear. And something happened that we don't know about that caused this girl to be unalived. And we've been taught this, I think this is like the second or third time we've talked about it.
Yes.
And we cannot, as you say at the beginning of the show, this is not about criminal case. We're just talking about the court of public opinion. But from a court of public opinion perspective, he looks guilty as hell. And I feel so terrible for her parents because I don't know how she got caught up with him. I think we talked about that once, but I don't remember those particular facts. But as it relates to these kind of fact patterns, right? The reason people destroy the body is because whatever the truth is bad enough that they think it's going to put them away for a long time. And so then they get desperate and they try to figure out how to protect themselves.
Yep.
I'm speechless.
So, and let me explain, why you might think if, and this is this is horrible case, but why someone might think this is a better way to go. Let's say, for instance, if you burn the body and we cannot tell the cause of death, which is a big problem here, then you really can't charge him necessarily with murder. He could say, hey, she died of a drug overdose, all right, something else, and I just panicked. And desecration of a corpse is a crime, but it's not murder, right? And so part of the reason people do this is to obscure the cause of death so you can't prove how the person died, so that even if they do find the body, you have a much better defense. You don't get the death penalty because you desecrate a corpse.
Correct.
Oh, y'all, this is heavy. Okay, let's go to some of the comments because it's a lot been going on here. All right. Viva P says she had already been violated by her family. Yeah, I heard that's why she ran away. Allegedly, she ran away from home. Mimi, Miss Monica, to you, her parents couldn't get her to come home if they tried. 14. Okay, Colette Davis says, let them know, Shaitan, it always takes a woman to give the gritty details. Daniel Cameron says, it's the fact this poor girl has been missing for a while, yet Gabby Petito had a full search party. Why do we have to be blonde and white before someone cares we're missing? I know, baby, that's just tough. Pisces Unicorn says a demon is correct, Mimi. Sandra McKee says the media was reporting she was a runaway and her parents knew she was living with him, allegedly. Yeah, that's true. I read that. Brenda K says she was a beautiful child. I can't imagine going through something like this. You're an evil person to do such a vile thing. I agree. Rizlan 11 says, from what I know, that girl was trafficked and they did rituals with her too. Oh my God, that's just so bad. Oh, SL Warrior says she ran away. All right, geez.
Here's one thing for the A-listers, though, just to be clear. Even if she ran away and her parents knew that she was living with him, that doesn't obviate him from the crime. So any A-lister who's out there thinking like, I have the permission of the family to mess around with this underage girl, you don't have permission of the state and you can still go to jail.
Yep.
That's so crazy. All right, on a lighter note, a lot of the A-listers are noticing that Attorney Carter has got a fresh cut, baby. His wife must have whipped out her slip. Looking good, Attorney Carter. A couple people saying Attorney Carter are looking good. All right, so on a scale of 1 to 10, counselors, how strong is this case against David? Counselor Carter?
It's looking very strong. Of all the other evidence, he's guilty of something. I'm not sure it's murder, but it's definitely something not good. It's 9.5.
All right, Attorney Carter.
I agree with Attorney Carter. It's 9.5 of some crime. We'll see which one it is.
Okay, Attorney Weiss.
I'm gonna go with a straight up 10. He is, yeah, and I'm gonna let emotion come into that. A 10. Sorry.
That's crazy. Def God says a 20.
Yep,
I agree. All right, now from grand jury secrecy to federal court, where a judge just reminded everyone the death penalty is not a vibe, it's a statute. This I still don't get. Our last case, everybody, is in federal court. Now, reports say prosecutors will not appeal a judge's ruling that removed the death penalty as an option in Luigi Mangione's federal case. Now, the judge's reasoning, as reported, hinged on a capital eligibility being tied to specific statutory requirements. I can't wait for Carter to break this down. Now here, a stalking-related theory that the court found didn't meet the legal hook needed for death eligibility. Okay, so now when a boy goes out here, shoots a man right when he walks out of a hotel intentionally, there's no consequences. All right, so no death penalty does not mean small case. It just means life imprisonment can still be on the table if convicted, right?
Right.
All right, Sean Carter. First thing I need you to do when you unpack this case is, why does it feel like at every turn of this case, they're taking it easy on this dude? Now, I don't know if you remember a couple of weeks after he shot that that CEO, there was a shooting on 50th and Park Avenue in the NFL building. You remember that? And it was a black guy who brought a machine gun into work. Now, why is that man already in jail serving life, and this dude is still walking around like he never did anything? Make it make sense, please.
So Warrior said it best. He's cute and got a fan club. But in this case, the judge did the right thing. The federal government, doesn't want to impose. If the federal government imposed a death penalty on every murder in America, that's all they would do. All right, we wouldn't have time for do anything else in life. So they have special classes of crimes that will constitute death penalty. Others, you just get life imprisonment. And one of those predicate, all right, it says basically you have to kill the person and you got to do something else. The predicate thing. The predicate thing has to be a crime of violence. Most often, it's the kind of thing where if you torture someone and then unalive them, you get the death penalty. That's a Jeffrey Dahmer type thing, right? If you were to grape someone and then unalive them, that's a Jeffrey, that's the kind of thing that gets you the death penalty on a federal level. But other than that, he said they tried to use that he stalked the guy as a crime of violence. And the judge says, no, you could stalk people non-violently. I would do that with Celina Powell. Okay. You could do that all the time, right? And so the point is that it's not a crime. He didn't do, he did a horrible thing, but it wasn't horrible enough to get the federal death penalty. And by the way, that actually is going to make things, I think, a lot better for everybody. It's going to make the wheels go a little faster of justice. And so he might get a little black person in a few months as well.
Okay. So strategically, Turner, so strategically taking the death penalty off the table, I should not interpret that as they're taking it easier on him, and that he can figure out a way how to not get out of this, but get a lesser sentence.
Well, if you view you losing your life as the ultimate sentence, then yes, he did get out of that part, but there are other bad things that can happen to him. I mean, going to federal prison for life and having a, cellmate who might think you're attractive might not be very fun for him either. So I think that I wouldn't reduce this to, white boy getting out free because he's not a black guy. I think that there's still a long road ahead for him, and what it's going to involve is prison.
All right, Tamara Palomino Atkins says the parent need to be held accountable too. Oh, she must be talking about the other case. Sandra McGee says, yes, he's guilty. Deaf God says, boo. SL Warrior says, because he's cute and has a fan club. Vempa Peak, shame on you. He's definitely cute. Tina T1 137 said, and he comes from old Italian money in Baltimore, Maryland. His uncle is a U.S. representative. Daniel Kerberon says Luigi done had the Mario coins knocked out of him and many times to do it. I have a feeling it won't be that bad. I just don't understand. Something about this is not sticking to me right. All right, really quickly, on a scale of 1 to 10, how strong of a case are we going to get in getting him convicted? Attorney Carter, what say you still after this sentence? after this ruling?
It's less than, I'd say about an 8. All right, he is a pretty cute white boy, and that always counts for a lot. Think about it. I think 3 of the women and 3 of the A-listers would acquit him now. I think if he moved back into their house when he got out. So I think he's got a decent chance, because remember, you got to get 12 people. If you get enough women and thirsty women on that, not like attorney Turner, but thirsty women on the panel, you can get one of those people. He might get a hung jury.
Attorney, you gonna take that?
I cannot wait till we do this show in real life, so I can Carter's net That's
You
what
know.
I'm saying. Don't call me no thirsty woman.
I said not like you.
Okay, 'cause I was gonna say I do like a drink every now and then, but that doesn't make me thirsty. And the case isn't gonna be about his perfect hair, chiseled features, and rock hard abs. It's gonna be about the crime itself. At least it should be. But here's the thing. Here's why I think they took the death penalty off the table too. In addition to the reasons that Attorney Carter mentioned, is because there is this wild card of jury sympathy. If you recall, when he first did it, there was a GoFundMe. There were all of these people coming out indicating that it was justified, right? And because of that, they're going to have a difficult time finding, a jury who is going to convict. I think it's possible to get to win, but I think they're going to have to be very careful because there's a lot of sympathizers who have negative feelings about the health insurance.
You just don't want to see a cute guy get killed.
Well, no, it's about health insurance. They were somehow, I don't know what was going on in America at the time. People were stressed and feeling like they were being.
The cost of healthcare had gone up, and they were declining. They were declining people who had cancer.
There were all of these sympathizers. Like this was kind of unprecedented that somebody could commit, cold murder
and be sympathetic. All right, sorry, I hate to cut you off, attorneys, but we are running out of time. SL Warrior says people hate insurance companies. All right, everybody, you the jury, my A-listers, it's time we come to you because you run this courtroom now. Don't forget to type guilty or not guilty in the court of public opinion rules. Now, we don't move on until we have at least 3 convictions of guilty votes or 3 not guilty votes for each case. All right, first up, the first case is Deshae for shaming Celina. Is Deshae guilty or not guilty for defaming her? Guilty or not guilty for defaming Celina? All right, Joy Burnett says guilty. Guilty or not guilty for shaming Celina? Charlene Lambert says guilty. Regina says guilty. Oh, all the thoughts are saying it's guilty. Deshae, unfortunately, in the court of public opinion, you've been found guilty. Guilty as charged. Next up is Wiz Khalifa guilty or not guilty of following international law? Do you think he's going to get the conviction? Is he guilty or not guilty? Rizlan says not guilty. Jen 40 says guilty. All right, we got 1 guilty, 1 not guilty for Wiz Khalifa. All right, Danielle Cameron says guilty. Sandra McGee says guilty. Wiz, unfortunately, you're one of my faves, but in the court of public opinion, you've been found guilty. Guilty of breaking international law. Our third case is with David. Is David guilty or not guilty of unaliving this young lady or covering up something? Is he guilty or not guilty? Is David guilty or not guilty? Brenda K says guilty of 100% stupidity. I think maybe that was Wiz Khalifa. Charlene Lambert says guilty. Nashay Phillips says guilty. Pisces Unicorn says guilty and disgusting. All right, David, you've been found guilty. Guilty as charged in Celebrity Court of Public Opinion. Next up, we have Luigi Mangione. I'm not going to say he's not guilty. Come on, the man we saw, he admits that he's guilty. But is he going to get off easy? Guilty or not guilty? Is Mangione guilty, everybody? Let's jump down in the chat. Is he guilty? Is Mangione guilty or not guilty of unaliving that CEO? SL Warrior says guilty. Leandria says not guilty. RQM says guilty. And Pisces Unicorn says guilty. All right, Luigi Mangione, you can be cute, but not that cute in our court. You have found guilty. Guilty as charged. All right, everybody. Tonight we learned something simple. Something that may be a viral joke obviously can become a lawsuit. Man, I didn't know that. This is a learner for me. A foreign conviction isn't a headline. It's a travel and enforcement problem if you really know the law, and it comes with consequences. That's something I'm glad we taught today in Celebrity Court. Also, being a target isn't a verdict, but it's a sign the government is building and they're not guessing. So I thought being a target was less, but I learned tonight that it's actually more. I hope you guys picked up on that too. And the death penalty is not decided by rage. It's decided by statutes, definitions, and what the law actually allows. Gosh, what the lessons were. So in real court, remember, everyone here is innocent until proven guilty. But in this court, we ain't got to follow those rules. You decide in the court of public opinion who's guilty and not guilty. All right, everybody, I'm your judge, Al Reynolds. This is Celebrity Court of Public Opinion. Be sure to like, subscribe, and if you like, drop down in the chat what case you would like for us to cover the next time. As always, thank you for joining. And don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you already subscribed, hit that share button. And as always, thank you for dropping down in the comments. Thank you for joining us tonight, and happy Women's History Month. Take care, everybody.